Hey y'all, Reverend Beth Simmons here with a mid-Advent, midweek moment. Okay, so maybe it's mid-Advent for most churches and sort of heading towards the end of Advent for our church, which has been doing Advent for the past 5 weeks. We're heading into week 6 of 7. And maybe I'm cheating a little bit in being by our Christmas tree, which has lights on it, but we haven't put on the ornaments. Because I still want us to hold on to Advent for a little while longer. One of the things that I want to remind us, or I want us to remember about Advent, in its focus on bringing about the reign of God, or the coming of the reign of God, is the intense focus and emphasis that Jesus put on switching the world around and bringing down the powerful and lifting up, let's call them the lowly or the downtrodden or the oppressed, right? Those who are put onto the bottom of society's rungs when we have this hierarchy. My friend and colleague, Dr. Roberto Che Espinoza, has written some reflections, some great reflections on his Substack page about being Advent Contra Empire. And I think it's really, really important. We get so caught up in the tiny details of Christian faith and practice, and my denomination versus your denomination versus conservative versus progressive, and whether we're saying happy holidays or Merry Christmas and all these tiny things, right? Even Advent versus Christmas. And we forget that the intent and focus of John's prophecies, of Jesus's teachings, of all of the arc of the entire Judeo-Christian story, is to live and speak and advocate in opposition of empire. So in our story, long history of Christianity, we had sort of early Christian church, lots of little house churches. It was this sort of ragtag group of folks trying to do this sort of, and really were in opposition to the empire, and it was illegal, and they faced arrest and persecution and death because of following Jesus and continuing to practice what he taught. However, then Constantine, Emperor Constantine, came into power, and he became a Christian, and he made Christianity the state religion. And in doing that, he aligned Christianity with empire and messed everything up. We need to get back. We need to remember in this time of Advent, when we are looking, what does the reign of God look like? What does it feel like? What does it sound like? What does it taste like? It is always going to be in opposition to those who are holding power. Always. That's just. And if it is ascending itself to a place of power, to a higher spot in the hierarchy, it has failed. And it is not practicing the way of Christ. So, as I saw one pastor said that the traditional greeting for Advent should be, "You brood of vipers." So, you brood of vipers, as John says, here's your midweek moment for this week, just to have it in your mind, to watch and listen for what people are saying and doing in the name of Christ and in the name of Jesus, and see if it is against and in opposition to empire. And please check out Roberto's amazing Advent reflections, because they really, really get very, very deeply to the heart of this matter and give some good food for thought and spiritual consideration and reflection. Have a good rest of your week. we will see you on Sunday the 14th for worship. If you're in Hancock, New Hampshire, I will post a video of the sermon after. If you're not, we have Circle at 4 o'clock Sunday afternoon. Our St. Lucia event is canceled for right now, but Circle is 4 to 5:30, and we'll be gathering and practicing being true community and listening to each other, which in that practice, that in itself is acting in opposition to an empire which doesn't want us to communicate with each other and listen to each other and cross dividing lines. So I hope I will see many of you there, either in worship or at Circle or both. And if not, I wish you a good circling towards the end of our Advent time. Be well.